All right, we're going to take a look at Chapter 20's assignment. Now, I'm only going to do some of the assignment. I don't want to do all the assignment. I want to make sure that you have plenty of opportunity to work on the assignment and find your way through it. So let's go ahead and jump in and talk a little bit about it, though. So in this one, we're going to be making two files. Now these two classes that we're going to create, we're going to put them in the same package. I've gone ahead and already created a workspace for us, as well as a project and a package. So the first class that we need is the employee class. So let's go ahead and create that class. Now looking ahead, I can already tell you that we don't need to extend or implement any abstract classes or interfaces. We do not need a static void main at this time. So we're going to go ahead and just say finish on this and let that create us a new class called employee. Now in this class, at the top here, we've got some attributes we're going to assign. One of them happens to be a string. And one of them is going to be last name. There's some more there. Make sure that you fill those out and get all of those in. We need to have a constructor, and it is a parameterized constructor. So in our case, because we only have the two attributes, I'm going to only use those two attributes at the time. There we go. We also need to set a few getters. In fact, all of our attributes need getters. The requirements do not call for setters, but it does call for the override. There we go. This is all I'm going to do for this class. Again, there are more attributes and a little bit more in the getters that you need to put in here to fill out the class, but for our purpose, this is what we need. All right, next up is that we need to create an executable class. Now, I'm not seeing any instructions on the name of the class, so I feel like we can go ahead and just name it anything we want. And why don't we just, to keep it all together, we'll call it employee test. It is going to be public. We're going to go ahead and have a static void main. And let's go ahead and let that create. There we go. Now the first thing it says is for us to create at least 8 employee objects. Again, I'm not going to really do that, but you can go ahead and do that. I'm just going to create a few. So let's go ahead and create those. Again, we're supposed to make an array, not an array list. And then with the miracle of editing, I now have 4 employees, nice and quick, so I didn't waste your time typing all those out. Now, one of the instructions actually does say not to put them in order by their name, so let's just switch those 2 around real quick. There we go. Now, next up, we are to create an array list out of our array. This is pretty simple. Now we're going to need to do some imports real quick. Let's go ahead and get those out of the way. There we go. That should make our Java happy. It does. And let's look at what is our next direction. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to sort these objects in this array list, and the instructions say first by last name and then by first name. Now I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to make big comments so that way if you accidentally submit it this way, I can tell you that I tried everything I could to tell you what I'm about to do is via lambda is correct, as in my lambda statements are going to be correct, but the way to do the sort is not correct. In fact, the way I'm going to do the sort is the way I told you in the lecture, that people tend to do it this way and it's not the right way to do it. In fact, the hint here is this is where you're going to want to use the then sort. And when I say the then sort, what I actually mean is, let's go back to our example on the human sort by name and age. You're going to want to use the comparator, and you're going to want to use the comparing and then comparing. That's all I'm going to say about this. Like I said, what I'm about to do is the sorting part is not the right way to do it. It's only so I can show you how to do the lambda piece. So let's add that as a comment. So the reason why I want to show you this is I want to show you how to do a lambda statement when 2 variables need to be utilized. Now remember, when it comes to the comparator interface, we can utilize lambda because the comparator interface is a SAM interface. So here we go. And as you can see, Java is telling me that I need to use a comparator, and we need to use a comparator that's with super is employee. And here is how we do it. I like to go ahead and finish off when I have open brackets and parentheses. I like to finish them off before I start typing. That way I can go ahead and not worry about forgetting them. I'm going to add another comment in here just to say, reminder, this sort logic is not correct. somebody's going to turn in this particular sort logic as their homework, even though I put all these comments. I'm going to have to go back to my employee object real quick because I wasn't going to do any of the setters, any of the getters, but I won't be able to grab the last name and the ID if we don't at least have those. There we go. Now we can come back here and we can go ahead and finish this logic up. So again, while this will work, not exactly in the manner I want it to work, it was enough for me to show you another way of doing it. And again, the important piece is the lambda. As you can see, the sort requires 2 incoming parameters, and that's how we do it with the parentheses E1 and E2. And now those are set up as employee objects, and I can go ahead and use them as employee objects. Next up, we are supposed to print out this list of employees using the for each in the lambda. Next up, the next set of instructions say for us to create a linked list from this array. Now with that, we are going to create an iterator that's capable of cycling both forward and backwards. The important piece here is this instruction, and this is something that a lot of people miss. So make sure you go through that list forward, all the way forward. Don't do any output. It might help if I spell iterate correctly. Once we've done that, the next instruction says to iterate backwards. Printing the list so it is in reverse alphabetical order. And that is your homework. It's not too complicated. Again, the lambda statement here is correct. The sort logic is not correct. And the iterator piece, just go ahead and take a look at the book of that. We also talked about it in our examples as well as our lecture, and you shouldn't have any problem with that. Good luck with the assignment, and I look forward to taking a look at everyone's work.